Steve. Good. How are you? We all have those.
Okay, everyone's on. Where is the drainage?
Working? Yeah, you sent me about an hour ago. All right, like that.
Okay.
Say when, Rob. Good to go? Okay. All right, good evening. Let's call this meeting to order, the April 21st WPA monthly meeting, 7:03 p.m. Attendance?
Yes, we have Adam Hall, Cindy Fry, Marilyn Waits, Stan Bernhardt, Jonathan Epstein, Bob Meltzer, and Brian Larimore. We have a quorum.
Absent is Blaine
Absent Blaine
and Dave Garson. All right, minutes. We only have one set to approve. There's one typo I found on that we need to amend. So I'd like to get a motion to change the amount that we owe Coastal from $26,700.89 to the correct amount of $23,627.89.
You want a second? That's your motion.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries to correct that on the minutes.
So the minutes are approved as amended?
Go ahead.
There was a mistake or two on the treasurer's report last month, and Jonathan and I talked about it, and we would like to not vote on those minutes or pull those so we can correct them and resubmit them next
Why
month.
don't you make a motion?
So I move that we pull the treasurer's report from last month and correct it and resubmit it next
Okay, I'll
month.
second it.
All right. So motion on the table to amend those because the treasurer's report
There's,
been seconded. Any discussion, any further on that? If not, we'll table those minutes to the next meeting and get them fixed. Thanks, Cindy. All right, President's report. Good evening, everyone. Let's keep David Garson in our prayers after his unfortunate fall in early April and hope that he can be back joining us in person soon. Roads, let's call that thing complete. Thanks to Ralph and his committee for hanging in there and staying after Coastal Asphalt to get this done. We're happy to have Sharon Lackey back with us in person at a website committee meeting on March 26th. We addressed missing meeting minutes, missing policy updates, and a lack of a website and a social media policy. We had a preliminary discussion addressing the persons or committees responsible for getting the information to Sharon to be added to the website. Sharon and Rob have been working together to get all minutes from past meetings added. Sharon is working both on a new website policy as well as a social media policy. We should see those soon to present to the committee before we go any further with them. By now, you have probably noticed the many updates on the website. Thank you, Sharon. If you have never signed up for the Wedgefield HOA website members only area, I highly encourage you to call the office and get with Rob and get yourself added. So where you see a lot of the HOA, the minutes, what goes on at any meetings that we have, whatnot, you won't see that if you're just on the HOA website. Sign up for that members only area. Sharon continues to work on making our website more user-friendly, meaning you can click on roads and everything that has to do with roads will pop up, or you can click on a date and everything will pop up for that date. Like right now, it's search and seize, trying to catch up or find anything you can on there. My hat's off to the Communications Events Committee on the March 28th Easter event, Easter egg hunt, the games, projects put together for the children of Wedgefield were a huge success and enjoyed by all. And let's not forget the Easter Bunny. What a fun day. A big thank you to Nate and Mickey Nadu for completing the media room damaged back in early 2025. If you look up in the corner, it's done. Much appreciated that they got that completed. Our committees are meeting as many times as possible to keep things moving. The number of springtime ARC projects has been overwhelming, and many times that committee has met once a week. Compliance has been working on many policy changes, some new, some old that were just never updated in the office manual or online. I know there's much more coming from the landscaping committee. With spring and summer upon us, we'll soon see the results from their efforts. Personally, a couple days after our last meeting, I had a simple procedure that took a turn for the worse. I was slowed for a couple weeks. Many of you didn't see me out as much as normal. I thank the many board and committee members that stepped up to help me out with anything they could. Thank you. God bless you all. All right, Vice President's report. I received that from him about an hour ago, and okay, I will read that. This past month, our community came together for a wonderful Easter event. It was a tremendous success. Everyone had a fantastic time, especially the kids. We could not have pulled it off without the hard work, dedication, and creativity of our outstanding events and planning committee. Thank you to every committee member who generously gave your time and energy to make the day so special and memorable. Working with all of you has truly been a pleasure so far. That said, I stand before you today as Vice President. No, he's not standing before you, but as Vice President to address a serious issue that is harming our community and undermining the important work we're trying to do on this board. This is in regard to toxic Facebook page that unfortunately everyone here is already painfully aware of and frankly sick and tired of hearing about. It seems this page exists primarily to complain about everything in our neighborhood, spread negativity, and argue with other community members. This page does not foster constructive dialogue or solutions. Instead, it poisons the atmosphere, divides neighbors, and turns every issue into a personal conflict. What makes the situation even more damaging is that someone or more than one person on this board continues to leak internal information to these individuals. This information frequently appears on Facebook in distorted or inaccurate form, twisted to fit a negative narrative rather than reflective reality. Leaking confidential or sensitive board matters is a serious breach of trust and a violation of the responsibility we all accepted when we joined this board. It's about time this behavior was called out publicly and dealt with. To those participating in this, your actions show a profound lack of character and integrity. Board service requires honesty, discretion, and commitment to the entire community, not using your position to feed gossip or advance personal agendas or grievances. People who engage in this kind of behavior have no place on the board, on a board that is supposed to lead with transparency and fairness. No one should have to serve alongside individuals who cannot be trusted to keep confidence or act with basic decency. I, for one, do not respect this conduct, and it severely undermines our ability to work together as a board. It is my strong belief that the main goal of this group is to paralyze the current board through constant obstruction and negativity. By creating gridlock and preventing any meaningful progress, they hope to portray the current president and executive team as incompetent and ineffective, which ultimately wastes the entire community's time and money. It's extremely selfish. But to anyone who has been paying attention and has two brain cells to rub together, it is clear that the last regime was far more ineffective and incompetent than our current board. If these individuals could get out of the way, this could be the most productive year this community has seen in decades. Effective immediately, we should implement a clear rule for all board members and committee members. You will no longer be allowed to engage with these individuals or this Facebook page in any unprofessional manner online. If you do not say it at church, at work, or directly to someone's face in public, then do not say it online while holding one of these positions. This standard applies to all interactions related to HOA matters. When you hold an official position as HOA, you represent the face of our community, and we no longer will tolerate individuals who continue to tarnish our reputation. Anyone who oversteps this line should face automatic removal from their committee. We were elected or appointed to serve the homeowners of this community, not to enable division or drama. Constructive criticism and legitimate concerns are always welcome when brought directly to the board in good faith. But anonymous complaints, misinformation campaigns, and back channel leaks only weakens us all and makes it harder to address the real issues. Moving forward, I expect every board member and committee member to uphold the highest standards of integrity, confidentiality, and professionalism. If you cannot do that, you should seriously consider stepping down. Our community deserves better. I urge all residents, if you have concerns, bring them to the board through the proper channels. We are here to listen and to work together. Negativity and division benefit no one, least of all the place we call home. Thank you, Blaine. Secretary Board.
Last month, I reported that we have an issue with our online payments possibly overcharging when the ACH payment method is used to pay assessments. I've been working with our website provider, also Stripe, and our treasurer to streamline our online payment systems to make the process more flexible for both the back office and our members. There's a lot of opportunity to improve the experience for our members, but this will take some time to fully implement changes. I will update the membership as needed. As announced at last month's meeting, the board had an informal roundtable meeting with the officers of the WPA. We discussed current issues facing the WPA relationship. The biggest issue was that which has been reported by our condo liaison, paving of WPA-owned driving surfaces within the condo areas. We discussed the WPA's request from our providers to get quotes for paving these areas. We also reviewed a possibility that the current GIS maps may be inaccurate. We requested information on what would be required to allow WPA members to use the WVA pool if permissible. No business was conducted at the workshop and no decisions were made. Our treasurer, grounds committee co-chair, and I met with Wedgefield Country Club to discuss cooperative ideas. It was a very productive meeting with more to follow. We identified at least one area where we could immediately benefit each other, and the country club will be conducting research to ensure viability. We hope to bring more information to the board and our members next month. I would like to request from our board and committee members that come to the office to refrain from spending a lot of time in the office area and to remain in the meeting area to do your work. The office is a place of business, and our office administrator needs to focus on doing the work of our members. The ask is just to cause fewer distractions from our official business, but don't hesitate to ask for assistance from office staff when needed.
Thanks, Brian. Treasurer report, Jonathan.
Okay, give me 5 minutes. It's going to take a little more. But tonight marks an interesting anniversary. It was 2 years ago at this meeting. The 3 board members resigned. One was the treasurer, and that had to do with Spectrum. At that point, Cindy became treasurer, and with Cindy and Peggy holding the fort down for the next 8 months, we survived 2024. And believe me, we had no bookkeeper, because then she resigned in June, and our office administrator resigned that same day. So Rob, who originally was going to be hired for 10 hours, became de facto, thank you, the office administrator. But we had no accountant, we had no bookkeeper, and no auditor. And Peggy and Cindy deserve a lot of thank you for holding that fort down. And then I became treasurer at the end of the year, and here I am. The whole theory here is that the treasurer, it's my belief and always has been, the treasurer, it fell to the treasurer to do a lot of things that the treasurer should not do. So the idea that when Russell came on and we retained him in October, my philosophy and goals were that we would set up a fiscal management system. and that would work through the finance committee. And I think we're almost there now. Tonight, the board has, for the first time in 2 years, the following. We have now a fiscal summary, which I require from Russell, that he summarizes the month's activities to the board and to the membership. We have a profit and loss statement through March 31st. And I asked then for him to add 2 other statements. One was the cash flow statement. We've never had a cash flow statement here, ever. I've been on the board 8 years and never existed. So the board now can see how the flow of funds comes in and comes out. The 4th thing we have is a budget to actual. And that's the first time we've had that in 2 years. I asked Russell that next month we're going to have Spectrum separated out. We're going to have a separate budget for Spectrum. And then when that's done, the board and the membership have a complete fiscal management system with Russell, working with Robert and myself and the finance committee. 2 things are left, and that has taken a little time. First, you have to get through this. You have to reconcile the books for 24, 25. We've just sent him Joan Hodges' 23 audit, and so the 24 audit will start. When that's complete, I think about 6 weeks we'll have it. Then they'll reconcile the numbers, bring it to 25. 24 will be reconciled, and they'll bring the 24 numbers into 25. And then the 25 audit will start. I think all these things should be done by, I'm roughly September. It may be sooner, but I wouldn't bet on it. And then when that's done, we have a complete set of books now. And we have a complete effective financial management system. It's taken a long time. I think the treasurer, my responsibilities to you are the following. None of this. This is Russell does this. He reports to me in the finance committee, and I report to you. The treasurer should not be involved in this. The treasurer has to be here, and Russell has got to be a space between the two functions. I can't be involved in that. His reports are his reports, and that's why we hire him. But my main function is to develop the budget and the assessment through the finance committee. And then the investment strategy. That's what the treasurer should do. And guard and make sure we have the cash flow necessary to pay the bills. So tonight, if you look, we have a complete now set of financial report. It's taken some time. And I know there's been criticism. We started with Spectrum and we shouldn't have run it and all that hullabaloo. And now we've had 1 recall and I'm being recalled now. And it's just a bunch of them. Because these people have not talked to me, they haven't talked to Cindy, they haven't talked to Rob, and they haven't talked to Russell, so they don't know what they're talking about. It's a pretty sophisticated system we have now here with finance. Now, the good news is the last month I reported to you on the receivables, which I was very unhappy about. To give you an idea right now, receivables on the books are $284,984.16. Of that, almost $190,000 sits with what I call the 22 lots that are vacant and 2 bad actors, what I call bad actors. We had 6, we've gone down to 2, and 1 is making partial payments, so we've gotten that down. At last month's, we had over almost 100 of what I would call the good accounts that just hadn't paid yet. We're down to 67. And that's because I asked Peggy and Rob to put a letter together to send out to the individuals who still owe us money. So we're almost done a month of that. We have the object to send out 2 and 3 letters more. And if you still haven't paid, then we turn that over to the legal. But it's coming down, so it's not bad. And I might say that if you read Russell's report, he does say one thing. He says that basically the books are fine as he sees it, and that the cash position is very strong for the WPA. So that's the treasurer's report.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start committee reports. Legal, Liz.
Thank you. So the legal committee met on April 8th. We discussed the following items. I'll just say briefly, the liens and foreclosures issue that Jonathan's literally just touched on was something that we looked at in detail, and we're still trying to get a full picture of how many properties are actually in foreclosure. But there's a lot of money out there to be collected. Much of it is with these corporate or developer properties. There was supposed to be a sale of some of those properties that fell through. But we're still working on getting the full picture of the foreclosures, but we should have that complete definitely by next month. There's over $270,000. We do know that, so there's quite a bit. The other items that we discussed, the Ricketts lawsuit, the consent order in that is still pending. For those who are not familiar with that term, the consent order is basically each party to that lawsuit has agreed that Mr. Ricketts can come and look at the documentation that's kept in the office here. The judge has signed off on that agreement. That's why it's called a consent order. Unfortunately, the consent order doesn't have a time frame contemplated within it. The only time frame that's mentioned is that Mr. Ricketts has to give a 3-day window before he's to come and look at the books or the documents that he wants to look at. But there's no, like, it must be done by a certain date. So unfortunately, it's been pending since December and still hasn't been done. He hasn't given his intention to come and look at books. So we're hoping that Counsel, Mr. Crosby, can sort of get that moving in the right direction and get that resolved. The legal committee also met with the landscaping folks to talk about the possibility of a playground in the neighborhood. I'm sure that details of that will be addressed further with grounds and landscaping report. We looked at the various sites that they were looking at, contemplating rules and regulations that would be required, like fencing, lighting, rules of use, the need for insurance rider for liability coverage. They're going to have a workshop coming up, and we stand ready to assist in any way possible. Finally, the legal committee would like to bring to the board's attention and ask for board notice of a inquiry into Covenant 26 from last year's board. I'd ask for a motion to have that looked at.
So moved.
Second.
So motion on the floor, unseconded, to move forward with Covenant 26. Any discussion from the board?
The intent of this is to have the legal committee look into it
What?
for viability and provide recommendations to council, correct?
That's correct.
Discussion?
I would just like to point out that last year we put that on the ballot, so you all saw it. And that was a result of working, Jonathan was legal at the time, and we were working to get this on the ballot, knowing that it would fail, that our attorney wanted a demonstration that it was unreasonable to get 100% of an association to agree on anything. So that's why it was put on, and this is just a follow-up from that to continue that process.
Well, it'll be a continuation of review. I don't know that it's going to come out in the same format that it went in, if that makes sense. I don't know that it's going to be rewritten to the exact wording as it was proposed at last year's board meeting. That's not the intent of the
Are you
legal
suggesting that we're
committee.
going to vote on it again?
I don't know. I'm not suggesting anything at this point, except for that we want to take a look at it.
So you're just taking a look at it. This is not bringing it to Joe Crosby as was the intent from the ballot.
We're going to start over with this. Because it failed, you have to start over.
Well, you can't say it failed. If
Well, it didn't pass, so I guess it failed.
okay.
potentially.
There were 200 people
That was the
that
intent.
voted in
Right.
favor of it and 100 that didn't.
It didn't pass.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the intent.
Okay. We needed it.
Call the question?
And now we start
I
over.
can make another. What do you want to do?
Brian has called the question. Take it to a vote.
I don't
By
know.
show of hands,
Let's go for it, because we need to start all over. And then-
Brian has called the question.
Oh, okay.
Let's get going on this.
What are we doing now?
Brian has called the
Let's
question.
call the question.
Okay.
Time to vote. The motion on the floor is for our legal committee to move forward with the possibility of coming to 26 and get with Crosby and legal to see which direction we go or what we do. That's the motion on the floor. By show of hands, those in favor? Motion passes.
That's all I've got today.
Jonathan, you got more finance?
Oh, yeah, I do. So we had a finance meeting yesterday at 4:00. I mean, it's a really good meet. It's a really good committee. We have a lot of very good, talented people. Within the last 2 years at annual meetings, we've had requests of the boards to look at a management firm to come in and administer our association. So I felt that it's time. It would be a good time for the committee and the board to take a look at this. So I invited First Residential Services to come in, and they made a presentation. There was a lot of good discussion from their presentation. They gave us what they would do. We've got a summary of cost. From that, the finance committee decided to ask them to come back with a proposal. And we'll take a look at it. Obviously, if it's something we want to do, we're still going to need to write, as Brenda Martin pointed out, committee woman, that we'd have to write a request for proposal and get 2 additional proposals for the finance committee to take a look at. I don't think it's something that probably would happen. I mean, it's a lot of thought to put into this. And it may happen this year, but with the kind of detail that's involved, it probably won't make the annual meeting. But we're starting it. The reason is, it's my fault, my thinking is raging out. I probably shouldn't say it because of me, but let's be honest about what's going on here. Talent is thin. It's Rob, he could leave tomorrow. Russell could quit. And we've got nothing here. We're sitting naked and blind. And that's not a good position for us to be in, especially when we've got the financial system the way we want it, the way Rob runs the office. We're all volunteers. This meeting coming up, 4 slots are going to be open. That's almost 50% of this board. And we have to maintain $1.5 billion. As Russell points out in his financials, we are at about $1.5 million in terms of the kind of monies that we invest in and expend. And I think that we have to look at something different, possibly. So that's the tenor of the discussion. So we're going to wait for them to come back with their proposal. Liz discussed receivable liens, and I went over the report with them. I asked Inga to talk about the WPA pool. There had been some discussion. Maybe we administer it. They've decided it's too early for that, so we didn't have much of a discussion on that one. Brian did his 5-year plan. He's coming up later on the agenda. I won't do anything there. And then I went through what we had with Mr. Bach, and that was the meeting. It was good. It was a good meeting. I think everybody agreed. That's it.
All right, thank you, John. Roads, Ralph, most popular guy in the neighborhood.
Good evening, everybody. So as Bob mentioned earlier, Coastal Asphalt has completed the work that they started back in the fall on 5 courts in the neighborhood. Governor Boone, King George Court, John Waits Court, Jericho Court, and Hague Court. So we finally got the punch list done on that. Everybody seems to be satisfied with the work that they've done at this point. And thanks to Bob for requesting that they extend their warranty to a 2-year warranty period. And Coastal Asphalt complied with his request. So we have a warranty on those 5 courts, which runs through March of 2028 on any of their workmanship. Industry standard across roads and paving is about a 1-year warranty. So Bob, thanks for that. So with their work being completed, as Bob mentioned earlier, we still have 1 payment left to be paid to them, $23,627.89. So I asked that we get that check ready, put out to them maybe this week or early next week.
I move to pay the remainder.
Motion on the floor, pay your remainder.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Signify.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. So moving forward, I want to give a thanks to Miss Pam Gross for sending an email to the HOA office notifying us concerning a section of the road at 361 Francis Parker Road that is in need of repair due to the tree roots growing up under the asphalt and pushing the asphalt up. Along with that repair, I've had asphalt companies take a look at anyone that drives down Wedgefield Road. As you get around that first corner near where the cart path crosses over, there's a pothole right there, and down in the middle of that pothole is access to a water valve. So that access port needs to be raised up 3 or 4 inches to be level with the surface of the asphalt as you patch that area. So I got pricing for the 2 repairs put together. It's a total of about 374 square foot of asphalt repair. I think the members of the board have that email. This estimate is $7,034.94. And I ask that the board approves that amount so we can get those repairs taken care of.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, the water main is the county, whose water, or is it Gulf?
It's in the road. That's a county access.
County.
Yes.
There was some responsibility,
No.
Ralph, or not?
It looks like the last time the road was paved, which
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago, they didn't raise that up.
Okay.
It's like the problems we had on Jericho.
Yeah.
I avoid that thing every time I drive around.
Any further discussion? A show of hands, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I will notify them, get them moving forward on that, and hopefully get it taken care of shortly. One other thing that has come up, there's been a recommendation from one of the other committees or members of a committee that a speed bump be installed at the stop sign out here at the circle as you're leaving Wedgefield Road. So as you're coming down Wedgefield Road, there's a yield sign there, there's a stop sign there, and also a sign telling you golf cart crossing. I myself think it's really kind of funny that we even have to have this conversation, that we should have to install a speed bump there to make people stop at the stop sign. But there's been 2 of my members on my committee that have witnessed cars, multiple cars in a row, just drive right through it. At this point, I think the committee, we are leaning towards maybe recommending a speed bump there, but I think for now we want to just observe it more. And we ask that members of the board and other committees, as they're driving around here, maybe observe that area as they're coming through to see if they see people that do not stop at the stop sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I don't think you have to have, Ralph. I think there's no question that people go through it. I wouldn't chicken out, because of the criticism. Of
Yeah, honestly, it's,
You just come here anytime and look at that screen and watch what goes on. There is invariably, people do not stop. They just don't. And I'm sorry, folks, if there ever was a speed bump that was needed, right there. Because it's, something's gonna, I don't care about the sign that says golf crossing. Somebody is going, you know what's coming.
it's
I don't
better
think,
to
I don't
be,
think we need a study. I don't think you need to wait. I think the board is, listen, we approved the other speed bumps, for crying out loud. The one that we really need is right there.
to serve the community,
Years ago, there was one.
Yeah.
it's better to be proactive to prevent an accident from happening than to be reactive. We don't want to see anyone get hurt. We don't want to see a golf cart get hit. We don't want to see other cars get hit. Or individuals walking along the side of the road.
What's a speed bump cost us?
We have it.
We still have a couple left
We
over.
have them. So let's put one. I make a motion. I'll go out on the limb. I make a motion. We put a speed bump right there at that stop sign.
Motion on the floor, speed bump at that stop sign. Is there a second? I'll second it. Discussion.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When we installed before this round of speed bumps, when we installed the other speed bumps, like around the corner at, what's that, 10 and 11, there was a difference in the speed bumps. All right. And is there a way to tone down when we install these speed bumps? Now, I do think that these new ones, they were very aggressive in the beginning, and I can tell they're starting to flatten out a little bit more. And I understand the idea of a speed bump is to slow people down. And maybe I'm telling on myself.
Well,
Is there a way if can we drill them down a little bit more so they're not
the
quite?
ones that are inch tall, I don't consider that a speed bump.
Well, right.
Because
I get that.
I see, even myself, I don't slow down going over those, even in my golf cart.
The new ones?
No, the old existing ones, they're only about an inch high. I see vehicles all the time just drive right over them without slowing down. So that, to me, is not considered a speed bump.
Can I interject? The little mats that I'll admit, I don't even slow down for them. They're 1 inch by 12 inch wide, 1 inch tall. The blacktop ones on Rags Ferry that have been there for a number of years are 20 inch wide, 2 inch tall. The new speed bumps we put in are 12 inch wide, 2.5 inches tall. And you would have thought we put in something 10 miles high for people to drive over. Now, the problem I see is the complaints this board had weekly was on speeding. So we gave it to Ralph and his committee to look into, and unanimously, this board approved speed bumps, a purchase of $2,600, which we didn't have to spend because Stan knew about Alston Plantation having the exact ones for $900, and we got one extra. Those, I've heard a lot of criticism. They said, well, they put them in, they took them out, they didn't like them, you guys got stuck with them. They were still in the box. Ralph and I carried the boxes from the pool to my truck. And if you want to drive by Ralph's house, the two to the left, right, are still in the box. So they never put them in because they're going to put blacktop ones. So Ralph and his committee and myself have taken a lot of complaints. Number one, are we insured? Well, our insurance, Robin at the insurance, there's not any kind of street coverage through our insurance. Streets inside our development would not have an issue with insurance one way or the other, as they're not covered. The next complaint was, did you go to the lawyer about your speed bumps? So yes, I did. And Mr. Crosby, thank you for your question. Unfortunately, I've never been asked about speed bumps in your neighborhood, even the ones that are out here. While I understand the frustration of the residents who drive over to speed bumps on a regular basis, the POA, Property Owners Association, or HOA, has an obligation to protect the residents from speeding drivers. The roads are owned by the POA, HOA. The POA has a duty to maintain property in a safe manner. I do not know how abrasive these bumps are, and that would be the area to review. I also suggest signing warnings regarding approaching speed bump. I suspect you will receive complaints regarding where the signs are put also. Speeding drivers versus speed control devices is a balancing act, with some parties being upset regardless of what you do. However, I do not believe placement of speed bumps creates legal liability for the HOA, POA. Instead, the POA can only exercise its best judgment and how to balance the competing interests. I also note the only complaint is about the new speed bumps. So then the next complaint was, did you go to the sheriff's department? Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I did. I got online and I went to the public information officer for the sheriff's department, Heather Pelham. And in less than 5 minutes, she responded when I asked about Georgetown County laws with the sheriff's department, because let's put it another way. You can get online and you can do an AI search and it'll tell you anything that you want to hear. But unless you go to the horse's mouth on some of this stuff, and that's the people in this county, then don't believe everything you read on AI, because a lot of people have told me what AI says, and you know what, I found it too. All right, but the sheriff's department, in Georgetown County, you do not need the approval of the sheriff's office to install speed bumps or signage on private roads. We would not have been involved in the prior construction, nor do you need our approval for any new speed bumps. That same afternoon, I just happened to be in the office here, and here comes Sheriff Carter Weaver, and what perfect timing. So I thank him for his PIO getting back with me so quickly, and he said, yep, she come and had a discussion with me, and you know, Bob, in Georgetown County, you're not the only neighborhood that those kind of complaints, and we don't want speed bumps. We want speed bumps that went on, and we tell everybody the same. So research, yes, speed bumps, I understand. Here's what's went on. At first, complaint, and there's a 75-person petition out there right now. With addresses from Hawaii to California to Canada to whatever. I'd like to see that petition come back with at least local Litchfield addresses on, because I don't know where you live. I check a few names on it. They're not on the official website. So I don't even know if you live here. I don't know everybody. But it's up to 75 names. But right now, I think the motion's on the floor to put another one. And if you sit in this office for 1 hour a day and you watch what happens at that stop sign right there, you would want a speed bump there too, because somebody's going to get hit. Thank you.
Oh, let me ask you a question. Did you have a discussion with EMT or anybody?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm also close with the county fire department. And on a day we had a complaint, I talked to the assistant chief on the telephone over another matter that he and I have been working on. And I asked about complaints from his EMS team that has been out here. He said, yeah, they brought it up, but it's no big deal, Bob. I mean, it might slow us down a little bit, but that's your right to put speed bumps out there to take care of the traffic. We're not out there every day. So yes, good question.
Well, I mean, the issue is this, folks. So the issue, as I understand it, we as a board unanimously voted for speed and safety. And now we're not going to vote for that because it might affect your car. Listen, you come to the speed bump, you stop like a human being, and you roll over. You don't need a study there, I'm telling you. That is the worst of the worst. I'd give up Wedgefield Road where I make my left on Captain Anthony for that one. That's all I'm saying.
I would, if I could just.
Go ahead.
Check.
Yep, we're still in discussion.
We had a speed bump paved in on Rags Ferry. You know, just where the water goes underneath and we have the guardrails. Now, did you measure that one?
Yeah, I just said they're 20-inch by 2-inch tall. The two paved ones, two on Rags Ferry, are 20 wide, 2-inch tall. Yeah, we measured.
Yeah.
I brought that up earlier.
We didn't get complaints on that.
I know that, and that's why everybody, what's wrong with the new speed bumps? the people on Rags Ferry have had speed bumps for what, 5 and 6 years? How long those been there? And how many?
Probably close to 8.
Okay, thank you. 8 years, and there's no complaints. We put a few speed bumps on the other side of the neighborhood, and it's like, go move on Rags Ferry and see how you like those.
But the new ones on West Ferry are terrible. And too close together
Yeah, well, that's not-
without,
that's
you know that.
Yes.
We as a board voted to put them in for safety reasons. And if we as a board vote to take them out, then that's the last day I'm on this board, because we have an obligation to the people here to keep this community safe, and that's what I'm about. So there's a motion on the floor and a second. If there's any more discussion, I think the motion was to put one at that stop sign. That leaves, Ralph, you got 2 left?
Yes.
2 left right now? That takes care of one of them.
If the motion passes.
Any other discussion? Let's show of hands, all in favor? Motion carries. Put one at the stop sign.
Ralph, let me ask you a question. Can I ask Ralph?
Yep, go ahead.
And it should be the golf course, I think, responsibility, but as you come to where you've got the speed bump just before you cross 10 and 11, I don't think there's a golf course. Do we have a sign, or do they have, they don't have a
Path
sign.
sign?
They don't have a sign there,
No.
do they?
No.
We have a bump,
Yeah, speed bump sign. There's no cart path sign.
Well, maybe we should, if you talk to Christian, he should put one up there for crying out loud, just from the liability. I
Oh,
would
yeah,
think,
they
huh?
should probably have them at every cart path.
They
crossing.
should, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your work, Ralph.
That's all I have. Do you, the board have any questions?
Thank you, Ralph.
Thanks, Ralph.
Appreciate it. Oop.
Yeah, sorry. So we've been talking with the WPA about possibly paving that area. A strong desire to pave the condo area, the parking area, or not the parking area, but the drive area, the road area. There seems to be a little bit of discord, or that's not the right word, but disagreement about what property is WPA versus WVA. I personally, while you're here, I'd like to make a motion that we have that area, our property surveyed. So now we know exactly what our lines are.
All right. I met with Mr. Ricketts and went over the area on Wedgefield Village Road. Also, Mr. Garrison also viewed that road and went over that road with him, and both of them said the exact same thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to go along with what they told me, which would be paving all the road surface on Wedgefield Village Road except parking spaces. Now, parking space consists from the parking curb back 20 feet.
Okay.
So that is considered a parking space. So those spaces will not be repaved, but any other road surface in there will be repaved.
Is that?
Is that what you see as new pavement? Because what Mr. Ricketts showed me was going into squaring off the cul-de-sacs and not.
If you pave 20 feet back from the parking curves, that will allow you to square off what was rounded off in years past.
Are we sure that's ours though? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to make sure that.
Well, you're talking about a couple of feet of asphalt.
Yeah,
A couple
from
feet
a-
this way,
Sorry.
30, 40 feet that way.
From an expense perspective, it's not that much. I get that.
Correct.
But we want to possibly make sure also that the maps are correct. Because if you look at GIS right now for WVA, the Village Road, it's just straight back and that's it. But there's a lot more pavement back in there.
Correct. There's roughly little under 4,500 square yards of asphalt on Wedgefield Village Road. Of course, the maps probably show 1,800.
Right. And that was a problem with the road study.
Well, in the road study, if you look in the road study, you do find that the yardage for Wedgefield Village Road is a little over 4,400. It is buried in that report.
It's buried? Okay. All right.
Could you just clarify one thing? Was it Garrison or Garson that you?
I believe his last name's Garrison.
Garrison.
Bob.
Bob
Garrison.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
And Stan, you were involved in it. I read through 2 folders about 2 inches thick on WPA and Pool Place roads. And there is so much he said, she said, he didn't do, I didn't do, I don't care, I don't want to, that I don't want to miss this chance if we can survey that and know 110% what is ours going forward and get it in the darn folder. And then we don't have this discussion in the next 25 years about what road is actually part ours or what's part of ours.
I have a question. So if you brought somebody in to survey the roads or the property, where are they going to gain information at to tell them where to start at?
The registered deeds should have everything mapped out or kind of
Even your
outlined.
tax documents, what you pay taxes on, don't match up with.
They should get it from the deed though. It should outline exactly what our.
Should.
It should.
Should.
Most of us are in agreement, including myself, that the areas that you're talking about should be paved. We just want to make sure the maps are right because there's been, for a couple of years now, a lot of arguments. We've been going to our lawyer a good bit over this. I'm just, there's nothing that you're doing wrong. I'm just kind of bringing it up as something that came out of our meeting with the WPA.
And we know
Well, plus
GIS,
we had an understanding in 2010 between the two associations of what was included.
and that looks like what we paid last time.
Yeah.
It looks like now we might be looking at going over and above what got paid last time, because there's a true difference over there. Ralph and I rode, and Mark and I rode, and Bob and I rode, and you can see what was paid last, but we're looking to extend that a little bit. That's why if we spend whatever on a survey and we save $5,000 to $10,000 of paving, then I think it's money well spent. And that's just my take on it.
So within the PCI report that was done for the roads in 2023, they list Wedgefield Village Road as 4,447 square yards. My asphalt contractor measured it per what me and Mr. Ricketts and Mr. Garrison had spoke about, and he's 120 yards less than that number.
Do you have the road study there? Does it say,
I don't have the complete road
okay,
study.
does it say when those roads should be done? Does it say next year or how much more life we have on those roads? I know they need to be done, but I'm just curious what it says. I know it needs to be done.
I don't
but-
have that part of the
Oh, okay,
road
that's
study
okay,
in there.
that's okay, I can check.
This is just based on how much money they estimated it would cost repaving over the next 5 or 6 years.
I want to throw one thing out about the surveyor and about these measurements he's got. I've looked up a lot of Wedgefield stuff at the Register of Deeds, and even with a lot of lots, they're not, unless somebody bought a lot and had it surveyed and then had it recorded, there's not a lot outside of our original plat from the 70s that exists in there. Like you have to pull the big books out sometimes.
Yeah. They're
Not probably going to reflect what the road is actually built like today. What the course of action I would take, you could get a surveyor out there and he can measure what's there, but there's not a lot of, the historical data is going to be fuzzy. So if we kind of need to, and maybe we talk to a surveyor about this, and it wouldn't be bad to maybe pick his brain on it a little bit. I don't think it's going to give us an exact measurement like a modern day survey would. And so kind of what this is how I see this going, is we're going to end up kind of building a scope of work from the measurements we have, either from the asphalt surveyors or adjusters or pricers, whatever you call them, and then what that PCI study is. And then we kind of just take the surface area that they're proposing. What did you say? The first one in the PCI study is 4,400 square feet.
Yeah, a little over.
The other one's a little under that. And we're basically going to have to just agree this is what it is going forward, and then have that recorded as a document we use. Now, and I'll go back in this week and go pull it out and see if I can find anything and take a picture. We can reference it. But like looking at drainage easements in other parts of this neighborhood, you're looking at yellow pieces of paper from 1973. So unless that got surveyed in recent history, which it probably did not, because there would have been no reason to, we're not going to get an answer from those documents. So I think what we're going to have to do is kind of define what we're calling it now, just off of an area calculation, and then have that recorded, maybe have that surveyed. We'll mark it out somehow, have that surveyed or platted, and then we'll have that recorded at the courthouse or in our files or whatever we want going forward. I'll double check on that, but I got a feeling that's where we'll end up.
Okay, that's cool. The motion doesn't have a second. So.
But yeah, it's not been a second, but that's a good idea. Can you white paint stripes out there on what you have from Coastal or whoever you quoted that you show? Then we can all take a field trip again. And then that's where our questions will come. Because this was paved, this appears that it didn't get paved what, 10 years ago, 2010, whatever. But if you mark out what you're showing us at 4,400 square yards, and the same on the other road, and then we can all waltz over and take a look, and then if there's further questions, we'll move forward. But like Brian said, he brought up survey, there was no second, but is that something you all can do, your committee?
We got a lot on our plate right now. We'll try. Yeah.
So you're scratching the survey.
Yeah,
It never got seconded.
But Adam,
I'll see what I can find at the courthouse and bring back to the board, and then we can decide.
I believe that road has been extended over the years. That road, as it exists right now, was not the original portion of Wedgefield Village.
I lived there for almost 40 years.
It's
It
been-
happened like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph. Cindy, welcome committee.
We just welcomed 2 new families to Wakefield during the month of March.
So 2 in March.
And Robert has several new families who they haven't closed yet, but we'll be doing that next month.
Okay. Thank you, Cindy. Communications, Wayne, Jennifer, you have it, right? Somebody's got it.
I'm going to read Blaine's report that he sent to me. Good evening, neighbors. I'm excited to share a few updates. Most importantly, the details of our upcoming yard sale and bake sale, an event that's equal parts community fun and furry friend support. Our yard sale bake sale is on May 2nd at 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and with a rain date of May 9th at 8 a.m. We are spreading the word far and wide. Advertising will be running on multiple social media sites, including CNC Auctions website, local news outlets, and the prominent signage along 701. If you're planning to host a yard sale at your home, please remember homeowners are responsible for putting up their own signs to direct shoppers to your location. To help us get a better idea of participation, please email your address to the HOA office. Supporting St. Francis Animal Center. We are proud to support our local furry friends at St. Francis Animal Center in 2 positively great ways. 1, to donate. Instead of selling, you can donate your gently used items to benefit the Animal Center by dropping them off at the HOA office between April 27th and the 30th between 8 and 2 p.m. Or you can contact myself at JENNIELOU, the number 14 at yahoo.com, and I'll be happy to pick them up for you. Let's see. Oh, that's what he said. Okay. All proceeds from these sales here at the HOA office will go directly to St. Francis Animal Center, and any items left unsold at the end of the day will also be donated to the center. And then secondly, don't forget the bake sale. The women of Wedgefield will be set up at the Circle with a mouth-watering variety of baked goods. This is their main fundraiser for St. Francis Animal Center. So come hungry, grab a treat or 2, and help support the wonderful cause. We hope to see lots of smiling faces, full shopping bags, and even fuller tummies on May 2nd. It's a great opportunity to clean out your closets, support your neighbors, and help animals in need, all in one fun morning. Some honorable mentions, Memorial Day weekend, we're going to be putting up the flag. So if anyone wants to help, just contact the HOA office. RAGs submissions are due by May 1st. I think you all have received your emails. July 4th and Wedgefield Day, August 15th, more details to come in May. And then lastly, thank you to everyone who came out and joined us for our Easter event. It was a huge success and so much fun seeing families and neighbors enjoying the day together. A special shout out and thank you to all of our amazing volunteers. Your hard work, time, and energy made the event possible and truly special. We couldn't have done it without you. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
One suggestion, and Cindy, you know, when we picked the flags up last year, you guys may want to get upstairs and get that tub down and go through good, bad, broken, indifferent. You may want to buy some before Memorial Day.
Yeah, so we, Jennifer and I have been up in the attic already looking through different things, and I have bought some additional items, so we should be fine.
You got 3 separate sizes of flags.
Right, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
We are Inga. Condo.
On March 26, the WPA and WPA board met. It was a very productive meeting, and we would like to thank Bob Meltzer for keeping the entire meeting moving smoothly and pleasantly. The WPA agreed that the roads of Wedgefield Village Road and Pool Place are in disrepair and need priority attention. A ditch is needed on Rex Ferry Road at Regime 3 and 5, but recommendations from the Drainage Committee as to how to proceed is needed. The next meeting between the two boards is scheduled for July 2026. End of my report.
July. No date. Thanks, Inga. Community liaison, Marilyn, or
Yeah,
you doing
I
it?
have it.
Okay.
The committee liaisons responded to several residents' concerns during the month. One response addressed a resident's concerns regarding the use of social media within the community. The WPA does not monitor statements made on social media. Another response clarified that resident email addresses are not distributed to individuals who request them at the office. The committee responded 2 times to a resident's concerns regarding a property on Robert Conway Court. That residence is now empty, I believe. A response was given to a resident regarding concerns over the WPA's use and cost of Google Workspace. Another response was about the function of the Communications Committee regarding the WPA Facebook Bulletin Board. Finally, the committee responded to a resident concerning posts on social media that appeared to reference information from board emails, and we provided as much clarification on that matter as we could. Respectfully submitted, Marilyn White and Cindy Furman.
Thanks, Marilyn. Drainage and long range, Adam.
All right. No report for long range right now, and the drainage report is a little short. As far as work on the ditch remediation, we're still in pursuit of bids for the ditch work, the ditch work throughout the neighborhood. Met with Live Oak Excavation on April 11th. I've received their bid. I met with Coastal Carolina Cleanup out of Myrtle Beach on April 15th. Their bid is forthcoming. We have a third vendor that's committed to a bid, but we haven't connected on a tour date. We're going to cut things off on May 8th, and at that time, the members, or the one other member of the Drainage Committee, and I will review those, and we'll make a recommendation for the board during the May meeting. As far as the drainage study goes, we received an invoice for the retainer fee associated with the G3 engineering drainage study in the amount of $6,000. This has to be paid before the work can begin. We have provided them with some of our drainage materials for their review already. So I need to make a motion on this, but since we've already approved and submitted a signed contract to G3, I move that we go ahead and pay the retainer fee in the amount of $6,000 to G3 engineering.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Motion carries. You got that invoice?
And that's the end of the report.
Anything else, Adam?
That's it.
All right, thank you, sir. ARC, Jonathan.
You have the spreadsheet. We've been pretty busy. And you can see everything that's laid out. Committee's done yeoman work. Unless you have questions, it's pretty self-explanatory. That's it.
You want to bring up that invoice for 2 trees on Scrubbin? Yeah, I gave it
1,400?
1,400.
The 1,400, yeah. We have two, well, we have that's right. We have a request, committee members went out. The 2 trees are on our property, so the bid is $1,400 to cut them down. Here it is. It's from Howard's Quick Cut, $1,400.
And it's
On 149 Williams Road.
2 dead pine trees struck by lightning.
Yeah, they're struck by lightning.
On our property.
Dead?
Yeah, they're dead. It's our response, yeah. So the motion is to retain Howard Quick Cuts for $1,400.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? They are unsafe. We need to get them out of there as quick as we can, so. Show of hands, all in favor? Motion carries. Water amenities, Adam.
All right, the boat landing at the March 17th meeting, the board approved up to $800 for a boat ramp inspection. The inspection was conducted immediately by FST divers from Myrtle Beach at a cost of $600. The ramp was found to be in good condition and fully functional. It was reopened immediately following the inspection. The dredging operations have resumed. The dredger initially experienced some issues with the newly installed equipment, but now appears to be functioning properly. Work was also delayed for several days when a bass boat ignored posted signage and struck one of the dredge pipes, cutting it and damaging a section of the pipe. I talked to Bob today. He installed some new cables and he said it's working really well. He's able to get deeper than he was.
Adam, do we need a speed bump out there?
Yeah, you can take the ones you put out there.
We got one left, Adam.
You don't want my opinion on speed bumps. All right, boat landing. So at the last month meeting, the board voted to accept the $34,400 bid from Brunswick Dock and Dredge to replace the south dock. The contractor received a deposit check on March 30th and estimated approximately 1 month to fabricate the aluminum frame dock. Installation will take place shortly after fabrication is complete. This does not include the gangway, life rings, or benches. The dock's down there in pretty bad shape. So Brian called me last night. He said that there was a finance committee meeting and you guys discussed possibly going ahead and replacing the second one. So I did call Bob today. He said he could do this. The prices have increased a little bit since last month, the price of decking and the price of aluminum. He's looking at, I think he told me 30, hold on. Oh. $37,400 to do the second one. So that's, if you guys want to entertain that, that's what the cost would
The
be.
first one was 345?
34,500. Both of those docks are in really bad shape. I don't know if you've been down there, but Chris and I keep going down there and trying to patch them, but it's not good.
I move that we move forward with replacing the north dock as well.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion?
Where would we move the funds from?
That would come out of the reserves.
Well, I know that.
Well, the water amenity reserve, I like,
Yeah, water.
oh, we discussed that last night, yeah, so.
We did.
Yeah,
When is he
It was
expecting
something that
payment?
was coming
So
due.
we're
Oh,
looking
that's
at
right,
cash flow,
yeah.
and we're expecting that he would want payment in May. So we would have a maturing CD around that same time, and we would just pull the funds out of that.
We have him with CD, and I was remiss, board, we have a CD coming due 4/29. We can't renew it because we're gonna spend 80 grand just out of here. So my suggestion then is, if the board feels, go ahead and spend the 37.4,
Oh, I see what you're
and then
saying.
we'll move some money into the year of water, we'll have to put it in reserve. We'll have to move money in. The board will have to. So I think the first thing we ought to do is we ought to just say, I'll make a motion that with the CD coming due on 4/29, we not renew it, we take 37.4 out of that, put it into the water amenities reserve.
Let's hold off on that
Second.
motion. We're in the middle of a motion right
Well, cancel your motion first.
now. But it's seconded.
No.
It's already.
Oh, second. So I'm gonna amend the motion.
Made it.
I'll amend the motion. I'm gonna amend it to add 37.
Second motion.
Yeah, we can.
After we take a vote.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. All right, okay.
Approve
All right.
the,
Yeah.
approve
We're-
the
go
job
ahead.
and then how
All
we're
right.
gonna pay for it.
We got a discussion.
All right, on the floor, a motion has
We're all
been
right.
made and a second for the 37.4 for the second dock.
Right.
What's the down payment amount? Same as last?
Whatever was last
Okay.
time.
17.2.
All right, let's just
Yeah,
clear
like
the
half.
motion. All right, any other discussion? If not, let's vote on the 37.4.
So
Show
just,
it, show it, go ahead.
well,
Discussion.
my question is, in which reserve account does this come out of?
It comes out of Marina. And you don't have enough, we don't have enough money
Right.
for Marina.
yeah.
So what I'm suggesting for the board right now, we have the money, we just haven't allocated. Generally, March, April, we allocate money, start allocating money to the reserves. So what I'm saying right now is that, okay, the CD that's coming due in 4/29, we don't renew it. We have money that we've got to take out and pay. And then out of that money, 37.4 would go into the Marine Reserve for this year. We'd allocate that for this year. And that would keep us even, that would keep it. And we're not going to allocate any other money. I think we want to hold off until Russell and the accountant get done with 24 and 25, and then we can add more money to the reserves. So what's going to happen, we have 80,000 as the other day in our capital, in our operating account, but you don't want to, I don't want to dip into that. I want to let the CD not roll over and start taking money out of that for the reserves. And we're going to do it. I mean, we've got money that's going to come out of this.
Cindy, Adam, you guys okay?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Ready to vote?
Yeah.
All right, show of hands, all in favor? Spend the 37.4 second dock.
I'll get
Hold on, but the second
Motion passes,
motion,
now we
yeah,
need
the
the other
second
motion.
motion is that, let the CD roll over, take 37.4 out of that 175,000 and allocate it into the reserve account for Marina. That's my motion, yeah.
I second.
Can you repeat that, so I can write that down?
I'll get to it, don't worry.
Okay.
All right,
Don't worry about it.
motion's been made and seconded to roll
37.4
37.4 from the CD into the reserve account to pay for this dock.
Yeah.
Any
Into the
discussion?
Into the Marina Reserve.
Marina reserve. Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? All right, the motion passes.
All right, I'll get the contract to you as soon as
Good
possible.
catch there, Cindy.
Contract and down payment. Compliance, Cindy.
So with regret, I must announce that Eileen Kramer has resigned from the compliance committee, and she would be greatly missed. She had a wealth of experience with compliance. We're sad to see her go. Bob mentioned earlier that we met with a group to talk about the policy and bylaw changes. We're working on reviewing all those policies and making sure we're updating and getting those policies to the website and to the hard copy office book in the main office. At our committee meeting, we reviewed and revised 2 policy changes. We're going to do first readings for these, and they'll be addressed as part of the new business. This week, we were notified of a residential compliance issue that the committee will be addressing upcoming. So we'll be working on that. Finally, there's a member of the community who I've had an opportunity to work with in the past. This person has a thorough knowledge of our bylaws, policies, and covenants. This person will make a great part of our team, and I'm going to move that Trina Davis be added as a member of the compliance committee.
Second.
Motion to add Trina to the compliance committee has been seconded. Any discussion? Let's show of hands, all in favor. Motion carries. Thanks, Cindy. Grounds, landscaping, or whatever we call it now. Jennifer?
So I drafted this on Thursday, and there are a lot of changes that were brought to my attention today. So just be prepared for a quick revision ad hoc. First of all, Brooke Harding is resigning from the landscaping committee. Her house is up for sale, so she's not going to be in the community anymore. The landscaping policy, we're just waiting for second reading. Hopefully that gets approved during this meeting tonight so that we can start transferring some of the responsibilities to PP&E. You received our recommendation for vendor selection for the upcoming landscaping contract.
Yes.
We unanimously voted on one particular vendor. The irrigation system, my report says active for the season, discusses some of the damages that were reported on the 25th and repaired by Angel Oaks. The cost for that was $950 total. We did have $150 of that expense come from the landscaping budget, and $800 came from the emergency fund. Unfortunately, this is what's a new status here. While we were doing spring planting and turning on the irrigation, we noticed some additional repairs that needed to happen right away. There was a lot of pooling over by the pond, and a couple of the sprinkler heads were not working. So we fortunately were able to flag down what's his name? Bubba, who is also working kind of as a sub in this situation to Angel Oaks, and he was able to do some repairs on the fly, which he will be, sending that invoice to Angel Oaks, who will be invoicing us. So we are aware of the expenditure limit on that work that was done kind of last minute, and we will not be exceeding that quickly. So as we had discussed during the previous months, some of our mitigation strategies for all of these issues that we seem to be having with the sprinklers was to do some cement donuts that protect the sprinklers from people driving over them. However, they're pretty expensive. Some of them coming in at like $27 per, and we have 65 sprinkler heads. So that's probably not something we are going to do. We are also going to research some other options and see what else we can do about that. So that's kind of on the back burner for the moment. We've also added some signage under the Oaks to kind of keep people away from driving on that area, because that was the area that was originally damaged, as mentioned in the report here. So spring planting, we took care of that on Friday. That was a huge success. We all came out, got our hands dirty. Thank you to the entire committee who volunteered their time in the middle of the workday to get that done. That was awesome. Stuart Nelson has been instrumental in handling the plant delivery and getting that brought over to us, and handling and coordinating the mulch delivery, which should be in the next coming days, right? Stuart? Thursday. We also had requested some support from the golf course to handle their side of the property, since we had supplied those beautiful plants over there, and they were able to provide some staff for that. You might notice today that side is well weeded. The people who are doing our mulch have gone over to Christian's side and gotten a hold of all of those weeds, and they did a beautiful job over there. They really did great. The utility box, the vinyl wrap, we were all scheduled to go with that, and today we found out that Santee Electric, sorry, I forget who the utility company is here. They had warned us that there is some litigation, people getting sued over this, so they warned us to not do that. They will let us know the outcome of this lawsuit and let us know if we can proceed. That's the status I have as of today. Yeah. You may have also noticed that the Jordan Electric has completed their installation of the lights under the oaks. The schedule for that is from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, so that the whole circle will be nice and lit up. And there's also an area over here that we have that other garden bed that has some cooling lights installed over there. So check those out if you can. Gatehouse, we are going to try to request the communications committee, which it's me, Jennifer, and a couple other folks in here, to just clean that up, because as you ride in, you can kind of see all the boxes stacked in there. It just doesn't look very nice. We've also had some maintenance oversight from our current landscaping contractor. The front circle, the berm, is supposed to be part of that maintenance. It doesn't seem like it's being maintained at all. We've had reports of neglect at the boat landing. I went by there this weekend, took pictures, and the grass is up to my knees. So we have made a request for Howard's Quick Cuts to get on that and start taking care of that. Additionally, we've seen some other contract violations. There is clearly a dump site within the neighborhood where the contractor is just taking things and dumping stuff back there. When there's a specific request to remove a tree, instead of taking that tree and taking it to the landfill, we have noticed next to the water tower that property there is just being used as a dump site. So those are all things that our crew is not very happy with. Yard of the month. Moving on to that, we had a lot of nominees. 855 Francis Parker, 37 Possum Trot, 268 Hay Court. But ultimately, the winner was 49 Wedgefield Village Road. So congratulations to that homeowner in the condos. That was definitely a beautiful display of flowers out front. Future planning. So I know we discussed the different meetings that Liz's team had with Jennifer regarding the playground, and I feel as though our committee has kind of exhausted our resources as far as trying to come up with that kind of plan, and that any other sort of capital improvement needs to have a larger committee, maybe with multiple people from other committees joining, so that they can all come together and provide their expertise on that. And lastly, we did have a homeowner who has offered to donate a beautiful bench and table. Kind of matches all of the other concrete benches we have, overlooking the canals. And it's all made from that same era. And we were just wondering if that is something that the WPA would want to have in one of the common spaces. I don't know if you guys want to take a look. It's pretty nice. Tell us, let you guys pass it around.
Where would you propose putting it?
I mean, I had only thought about 2 places, perhaps maybe lot 5A, in a shady spot where people can sit and enjoy and, utilize that common space. Clearly we have a debate about what common spaces are good for use around here. So I would say that's probably the only one I think that's outfitted for us to put something like that.
Paul donated.
Is that his name?
Anybody have any objections to letting the landscape committee place that somewhere on our property?
We need a motion to accept for you.
Yeah, usually when you have a donation, you have to.
Accept.
Move to accept.
Second.
Motion has been made to accept the free concrete table and benches and seconded. Any discussion? Show of hands, in favor.
Awesome.
Motion carries.
Okay, that's it.
I have something to recommend possibly. The cement donuts.
Yeah.
You gotta hear me out on this.
Okay, go for it.
A cake mold. You can pour concrete, just fill it halfway. I'm dead serious. I've seen somebody do this before.
Mhm.
And it will fit right over because we have the rainbird head, so they're small anyway.
Mhm. See,
So we could make some.
I also had the exact same thought, and that was part of my suggestion to my committee. It'd just be a matter of having a nice DIY day with some concrete, because they do sell the molds for those concrete donuts, which, I mean, cake mold would probably work too, but they do sell the molds online as well. It's almost the same price as just one. We could just duplicate the process, so, but that's a good recommendation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jennifer, the landscaping contract, we need to vote on that tonight?
Mhm.
Okay. I move, your committee is recommending bid number B, or letter B.
Correct.
All right. I move to accept bid B.
Everybody got it in front of them.
It's in front of, it's under here.
The committee got 3 different bids named A, B, and C. And they have proposed that we go with bid B. There's a motion on the floor to accept B. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion while you're reading through that?
So why are we moving? What?
Who's the second? Who's John?
Me, yeah. So it's $2,200 more, which isn't a lot. It's $185 a month. But so why are we moving? What's the real reason we're moving from C to B?
There
What?
is,
The reason why? What is the reason we're moving from C to B?
there's a difference in services.
Well, no, I just.
Yeah, one of the most, the primary reason is that, we're not getting the service currently from the incumbent that we have contracted. If you want full transparency, that contractor received the same scope of work from last year as this year and called and had questions concerned about what he was supposed to do. That's concerning, for one. It's the same exact contract. You should know what you're supposed to be doing.
But if we call him on a Sunday morning and say we had a tree that fell down, he picks up the phone for us and he comes out here.
So I have something to say. Aren't we supposed to discuss contracts in private, like we've done the 2 other times that I've been on?
There's no name to it. There's no name on the contracts. It's just that
There's
letter.
no names,
Well, then I
right.
have a PowerPoint presentation, and I need to set up my computer and get everything.
Well, but the cost difference is.
I was under the impression we were gonna do this later, so I had.
Oh, I don't know. See, this just came up, so I mean, we can do this later. I don't know. The contract starts what, June 1st? So could,
Yeah.
Is it May or June?
It's May.
I think
May.
is it May? Is
I
it
thought
May?
you said we needed to vote on it tonight.
Yes, needed to
So
be
that's why
voted on
we're-
today.
I mean, let me be honest, and I'm not, no, Chris, this is the first time I've seen this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a big discussion on a $33,000 contract.
Yeah,
Right.
No,
this was sent,
This is the first I've seen
I've
it.
seen it, yeah. first I've
this
seen
was
it.
sent on the 13th to give you guys ample amount of time
see
to review it.
No,
I haven't seen
this is the first I've seen it.
And I'm willing to go into executive
cost
session, come back from executive session.
The cost
We
The
need to do it
cost
tonight.
difference is
Yeah,
No, the cost
primary.
difference is
I
not
think
big.
we, yeah.
Can I have a moment? The cost difference is well explained. A contractor can charge a lot less if they're not having to pay landfill fees
Yeah.
and utilizing our space as a dump site. I'm sure the homeowners who live around this dump site don't appreciate it either. Snakes, all the things. I mean, we're not talking about a little bit of debris here and there. We're talking of mountains of debris back there. Fresh,
Oh, you're talking at the water tower?
yes.
And the cost of insect control and plant fertilizer as well. That's gonna be extra if we go with seed.
Do we know what? the
These are
difference
all of this is included based off of
is? I'm not ready to vote tonight.
the exact same proposal. However, we know that
Move to table.
specific vendor is not performing all of the duties.
Who's second?
I'm not ready to vote tonight.
Does it need to be voted on tonight?
It needs
Or
to be,
should-
it needs to be voted on tonight. Our committee has made the recommendation. We've reviewed all of the contracts. So, I mean, that's all I can defend. I've given you the information.
You okay with that, John?
What's that?
As their committee, they've reviewed contracts.
I know, but, okay, I agree with that, but legal hasn't reviewed it. The contract, has legal reviewed this contract?
Have you seen it?
It's the same one. as
I'm not
last year.
arguing the money, don't get me wrong, but let's not get in the same situation we are, C to B,
Is it the same one as last year?
the same one.
It's the same one as last year, same scope of work.
Can you, well, you want to read the contract, which we should, for the 35,000.
Is it the same company?
Different.
It's full site.
I'm sorry?
Have you checked on how long that site has been there at the tower? It goes back 10 to 15 years.
Exactly.
And there was
What do you want to do?
an agreement to use that instead of getting cost here.
If you guys, we can have a special meeting.
Do we have an agreement?
That's not in our contract.
For the last 10 years.
It's,
I have them all at the house.
there was an agreement on that.
Well, it's nowhere to be found.
What was the agreement?
That's the case.
There is an agreement that we can use it, but the contract that they're operating under says you have to use the landfill. So that's what the discrepancy is. They're not following the contract.
Okay.
And because of that, everyone else is gonna follow that contract and have to use landfill and have to pay for those services.
That's-
I'm not gonna.
Did you guys review the contract for both documents?
I've never seen this. I've never seen
That's
this.
a good point.
All right, so what's
I
the
don't
difference?
think we can vote on
Did
this
you review
tonight.
the contract for
Is
both
there a
documents
motion
you
on the
signed
floor?
for and agreed to it?
And when needs to be tabled?
So we got a
What
motion.
is, when does the old contract expire? Do we have time to do a special meeting just on this?
It's the, May, I believe.
Is it May 1st?
So we can do it Monday.
May
May first is when it started last year, so 12 months.
I won't be back till.
Yeah, you're right.
Tuesday.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it ends on 5/31, excuse me.
5:30. So we have a month.
First.
So we have a month.
Yeah.
We can do it in the next
We can
month.
do it at the next meeting.
Yes.
Get us the rest of the info. So the motion was made. There was never a second?
There was.
No.
I seconded
There
it.
was a second.
Tom pulled a second.
You'll hold a second.
Mhm.
All right.
We can just table it.
So what, can we table it? It is May 31st. Yes, Liz, you want to see the
I
contract?
just want to make sure that the current contract doesn't have a notice clause in it where they have to give 30 days. 30 days.
Yeah, do we know?
30 days.
Do we know that? Do we
30
know
days.
that?
Yeah, so they're gonna have to give 30 days notice, so you have to know whether or not they want to do it. Very soon.
I just don't know what the difference is from the last two times that I proposed all this. You had everything in front of you. We went into a private meeting afterwards. We presented everything to you and you all voted. So that's just what our committee is all here tonight expecting to happen tonight. It's the same process we've been doing for the last two times. How you vote is your way, but we're just asking for the courtesy to have it consistently done anyway.
Have you got?
And contracts to be approved the same way. I mean,
Right.
like you said, it's
Right.
different per committee, I
Did
guess.
legal approve contract last year? You approved a contract last year?
Joe Crosby.
So right now you got to get the one that you're choosing to whiz to look at, which we don't have, right?
We got to give a notice to see possible.
We can, the 30-day notice is April 30th, next week.
We can vote pending contract approval.
I'm not voting. I'm not voting for them. Yes, I never-
Well, I hear that, you're not ready to vote, but it's the same contract we're operating under now, and all we're voting on is numbers. That's really what it comes down to. If you're not ready to vote on a number, then I don't understand the conflict there.
So maybe we ought to rephrase the motion. Okay? So the motion ought to be rephrased, something like this, and then we can discuss it with Liz. So we would move to accept the Landscape Committee's bid B, $35,760, contingent upon two things. One, that legal reviews the contract, and there are no issues with this present contract. And B, that we provided a duly noticed time to bid C, probably is our present contractor, I'm assuming, that we are not going to renew the contract.
Make a motion to amend the way you just read it.
Okay,
All right, give me a second.
yeah, second.
All right.
You go second.
For the amendment, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Then we can vote on the amendment,
Yeah.
which is the new version.
I mean, I don't know what else you can do.
Motion.
Yeah, just to amend it so that it is worded so that the contract goes under review and we provide 30-day notice. That's what we're voting on at this point. We're not voting on the contract up or down.
Wait a minute.
Motion made and seconded to accept bid with contingent legal.
No, it's not to accept the bid. It's to amend the motion so that it is contingent on legal review and 30-day notice.
Okay.
We're not accepting any bids right now. We're just adjusting the language.
That's right.
Okay. Any more
We're
discussion?
not approving, we're
I'm
just.
sorry, what are we voting here?
I have no clue.
I don't have any clue what we're voting.
Reading it.
Reread it.
Motion to amend the current motion so that it's read that it is pending legal committee review, and that if approved, we'll have 30-day notice to the current contractor. So we're not voting on the bid itself, we're just voting on the language of the motion. Is that clear?
That
Clear as mud?
still doesn't make sense
But
to
that,
me.
in essence, we're voting on the bid.
And yeah,
Is
No,
it
no.
necessary?
if you're
In
saying,
essence,
if
we're
you're
voting
saying
on the-
pending, then you mean on this pending a 30-day notice, then you mean on this particular bid.
No.
So we're basically committing to due diligence on bid B.
That's right.
We're not
If we vote
executing
for
or
it.
accepting the bid or executing a
Yes.
contract. We're just,
If we want to go with bid B, then that's the motion we will have,
So when do we go back and when are we going to have the?
When
vote
do
for
we
bid B?
vote?
right after this vote. Marilyn, you were president last year, you should understand.
No, we don't. I don't know, I'm a little confused.
Just vote.
You hold the original.
My motion was to accept the $35,760 contingent on two issues. One, that the legal review it and give us a clean bill of health for due diligence of contracting. And two, that we give the proper due notice to our present contractor under our present contract. That's it. So
all right, so once we get those two figured out, are we?
we're done. We've approved it. We're going to
We'll
approve
accept
it.
it, okay.
Yeah.
How did you say that? Sorry. I just want to make sure it's
Same as you,
straight.
but
Same as me, but just
Same
different
as you.
words. All right.
Same as you, I put the 35.7.
Thank you. So there's a motion to amend. Call that question. To change the words.
That's right.
All right? That's what we vote on first.
Would it make everybody feel better if we just decided that there was a point before the first that we had a meeting on this? Is that it? We move forward with the contract review through legal, and then we have to vote to approve it. Again, that gives everybody a few days to digest it.
We would need to have a special meeting by Monday, I think, right?
Tuesday.
Or Tuesday.
Now or never.
30th is Thursday.
Yeah, we're getting close to the
30th is
days.
Thursday, right? The 30th is Thursday.
Correct.
Next Thursday. That's 30 days is the 5/31.
But in the committee's defense, listen, this is how our committee structures work. They've done the due diligence. They've come up with 3 bids. They've made a decision based upon B. I accept what they're saying. I understand what they're saying. All we're asking for is a board. It's only $2,220 more. It's $185.
How do you
But
know
wait,
who
hold
these-
on. And I'm saying that let legal review it, which is in a fiduciary responsibility of the board and every board member here. They come back with a clean bill of health, and then they go ahead and tell us, and we can see it, or whoever it is, a 30-day notice, and we're off and running. That's it, we're done. And we accept the 35, my eyesight's right, 35.760. Done. I mean, otherwise the committee, why do we have committees?
That's right.
That's right. Otherwise, we're questioning committees.
Thank you. But can I ask a quick question? How much on the contract of the current contract are they paying for the dump?
Yeah, how
Yep.
could she?
They got
She's-
safety
She's
papers.
up. No, you
Oh,
can't.
no, please.
Thank you.
Do you feel, Cindy and Marilyn, do you feel, and do you feel better that there should be a special meeting? What's your
Yes,
feeling?
because I don't know who these people are. Last year,
Why
we
does
did
it-
have an executive session
why
and
does it
we
matter?
knew who each of these bids were.
That was the intent until Jonathan kind of pulled the card about it being being our current vendor. The intent was to have a fair opportunity to
Well, I mean,
bid
I don't know
on
who the other
work.
2 are. Jennifer,
Well, I'm
I mean,
just
it's
saying,
obvious who
That's
C
it.
is.
We
Let's
can
be honest.
guess,
We know who
but
C
we
is.
don't know.
You can't hide
You
that.
know who C
Right.
is.
But the other 2, I have no idea. So it doesn't-
You know.
Yeah, I think listen, you have a committee, they made their decision. I go with the 35,760. It's 2,200, it's $185. They're gonna do more for us, as I understand the committee's recommendation. We're only gonna ask as a board that the legal go through it, give us a clean bill of health, our due diligence, and then give the proper due notice to our present vendor. That's it. We're done. And then if that's the case, let's have a meeting Tuesday, a special meeting Tuesday, come back, we'll get the reports, and then take an official vote, and be done with the damn thing. I don't know what else you can do.
So we want to change the motion again to just
No, we're gonna,
go, she's got to review.
she has
Do
to
you
review it.
want to accept this? Before, we weren't going to accept it.
No, I would accept that, you accept the 35,760. This is the beginning, that's how you start the process. Then legal reviews it, right? Legal says we're fine, and legal says we have to give a 30-day notice to so. Fine, then we're done. If you want to have another meeting back, just to confirm that, then you said you're not back till Tuesday. So let's set a special meeting for Tuesday, just to reconfirm and we're done.
When are we having a special meeting?
Well, to reconfirm, are there any special issues with the contract or problems? We don't know.
But we're still voting on.
Right, that's right. Contingent upon a clean bill of health, and the 30-day due notice. That's it. I know. That makes sense?
Is that the motion currently on the floor?
Yep, that's the motion.
All right.
You have to just table it. You just table the current motion, then that would suffice. Then you have to call a special meeting. But you can't just make a new motion.
All right, so you want to table it for a special meeting on Tuesday at a time certain.
Well, I personally don't know, but mean, I feel like I have no information to make an educated decision today.
Me too.
Okay, fine.
Committee's
I
not
agree.
available on Tuesdays. I mean, 'cause
You don't need to.
again, we have done this the same, every year. If there's
There's
no
no
meeting,
redlining on the contract and the things.
we meet, we go into a private meeting, and we present our case, and you guys vote. Why is this time any different? Marilyn?
Yep.
No,
I
it's
just,
okay.
this is the first I've seen it. I'm not ready to vote on it
So it's the
tonight.
first time you saw it last year.
No, it wasn't the first time.
I'm gonna take a stand here, and it's just like Adam proposing docks, and Ralph proposing roads, and anybody proposing anything as a committee chair. That's why I put them in charge. And if we cannot sit up here as a board and accept their bid, whoever B is, and I love this, they, A, B, C, I don't care. I don't know who they are. I could care less who they are. If that's the bid, it looks like it's favorable because the 33,000 doesn't get this, then let the committee do their job, which they did. The only thing wrong is Liz needs to see that contract and get it approved. That'll give us the 30 days. So right now, I personally would like to see a motion to accept that bid. Liz get that contract tomorrow. Let's get this done so they can notify the other committee in their 30 days.
Liz has to approve the contract and make sure we're going to be within the time frame for the notice to the original contract.
We have a week and a half for that.
Let's just vote.
Is that,
Yeah, let's vote. Let's vote.
All right.
Let's just vote.
Should vote on the amendment first, just so you know.
Which amendment do you do?
The one to change the.
This one, okay,
Yes.
this is
Amend
it.
it,
So
and
we're
then
gonna
have another vote
on
to
the
say
amendment.
yea or nay.
Yeah, okay, fine.
the amendment was to be,
Add the contingencies.
add the contingencies on clean bill of health and get it canceled in the 30 days.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, that's the motion on the floor and seconded, I believe.
Yes,
All right, can we take a vote on that? Show of hands.
just changing the language.
Changing the language to that.
Just three.
Motion does not carry.
All right, now we vote on the original one. Wait a minute, now we vote on the original one, which is just to accept the.
Original is just to accept bid B as it is, get it to Liz to review the contract.
No, that's not, well, we will do that, but original motion, which was to accept bid B. That was the original. That's what
Motion
we're
on the
voting
floor for bid B. Is there a second?
It's already done.
That's
We
been
just- Now we
seconded.
just vote.
By show of hands to accept bid B. 4, nays will be 3. That motion carries. Thank you. Get with Liz tomorrow.
Wait, my supper's getting cold.
5-year planning.
Can we take a break?
All right.
For that thing again.
5-year planning committee report. Our committee has been hard at work reviewing planned projects and aligning them with our reserve studies. I want to thank all the committees for their cooperation and assistance with gathering this information. And I also want to let them know that we will be asking for more assistance in the near future. I think it is fair to provide the members with information regarding the submitted planned projects for the next 5 years. They are as follows. For Roads Committee, pave Rags Ferry Road and Wedgewood Roads, plus mill and patch other roads as necessary. Water amenities, replace the south and north dock, parking and road improvements down at the marina, expanded water access points, which are fishing piers and canals, small docks and or kayak launch sites, and replace the landing gate. Grounds, build a playground with a fence, WPA landscape remodeling at the office grounds, gatehouse renovation, add a golf cart path from WPA office to lot 5A behind us over here, pavilion or clubhouse or activity center on lot 5A, phase 2 of the low voltage lighting project, cul-de-sac renovations, which is all the cul-de-sacs in the neighborhood, adding some kind of landscaping at those sites. tree replenishment, pond aerator and boat landing building maintenance, and building shingle repair and replacement. So this building here and also the gatehouse and the marina house. Drainage, theirs is TBD based on the drainage studies and observed needs yearly. What our committee has observed is that we are spending more than our maintenance spending more on our maintenance projects for the next 5+ years than we are saving. We are working with the Finance Committee to work toward resolution, and we will also work with our committees to better align with our studies project schedules. Please note that there are new amenities shown in these plans that have not been approved by the board. These are ideas only that our committees are kicking around, researching, and planning to bring before the board if a viable way to proceed with the project can be found. When it comes to new amenities that our committees are researching, we need to know what this community wants, if anything. A survey and a census has been drawn up that I hope our communications committee will be able to circulate in the coming month, so our committees and board have a better idea of how to serve the members better. And with that, I move to have the communications committee plan for and distribute a census and a survey of the neighborhood, so that we can get an idea of who lives here and what kind of amenities, if any, they would like.
Second. Is that a motion?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Motion and second to have comms committee move forward with a via email circulation of some sort. I don't know how we get it, Rob, with an email or something out to the.
Bob, Sharon Lackey had suggested survey monkey.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
good idea.
Yeah,
You're right.
We
You're
were,
right.
the plan here is to give it to the communications committee, let them figure out the best way to do it. It could be that they're going door to door with road captains, but let them figure it out. That's their job. I want to delegate that as much as possible.
She's on that committee. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So she can help.
But
you know.
yeah, thanks, Merrill. That's right. She said that.
Yeah,
would
that's
be-
a good
That
idea.
would be the
Really is.
easiest way. All right, so motion on the floor in a second to move forward with the circulation of what the people want to see as an amenity. Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries. All right, PPE, second readings coming. I have the info on the pond proposals. So here lately, I've been doing the PPE stuff myself. I have 2 bids. Coastal Pond Solutions came back with $11.40 a year, $95 a month to treat the ponds, but they never came back with the aerator or fountain bid that I asked them for. Because I want to try to make that turnkey with the same company doing both things. UNB Aquatics came back with to treat the 2 ponds. He recommends 2 treatments per year, $500 each time it comes out. He rides around, treats them. I made sure he knows this one's used for irrigation, so that's a different treatment to put on it so we don't kill all Stewart's plants or he'll be looking for me. Along with that treatment, and you guys will laugh, but there's a way to put sterile grass carp in this pond or in both ponds, and they will keep, they're almost better than treatment in the long run. But I thought his cost for 5 fish is a little steep. I think I can go to the farm store in Andrews and get them much cheaper, so I won't even bring that up. All right, the fountains, and the good news is that he's a dealer for the same fountain we currently have, Casco. So I would like to keep them the same. And we went over to the pond in the back, and of course the controller is there. We don't know if it works. There's 3 different types of fountains. One will be this beautiful spray that if we put that one back there, everybody will say, well, why don't we have it up here? This one is what we have up here, kind of straight up, whatever. And then there's just a bubble aerator that you can also use. The good news or bad news, this one's the cheapest of the 3. So I would like to, and no Stan, I don't know where the money's coming from, but it would be $2,151 plus 600 install for this type fountain for the pond that doesn't have one.
Is that in the back, the Rags Ferry?
Yes.
All right,
Yep.
there's a resident over there that has one for the pond. When we did the road repair, Walter told me one of his neighbors bought a fountain and was trying to figure out how they could install it. Yeah, I know. Somebody has a fountain for that pond, but they didn't have a pedestal and they didn't know how to wire it to the box.
Plug it in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the controller's there's 240 and 120 on that post. And if they see, here's my question. The one that was in that pond is right outside his back
Right,
door.
And the reason we didn't throw it away was because of the extension cord was more expensive than the fountain itself.
$600.
And so we kept it in case we needed it. But the only one I know about that used to be down there malfunctioned.
It got the barnacles.
It was the
No,
portable issue.
that pump just plain wore out.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead with your motion.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right.
No, I don't know. They told me there was one over there ready to go. They needed the WPA to help them figure out how to set it up.
Well, unless somebody bought something new since I've been down there.
Yeah. All right, and these are saltwater and saltwater compatible, suitable for saltwater. I think that's where we got in trouble with the brackish water on the other ones. These are saltwater compatible aerators, any of the models that we have. So what I'm looking for is a motion to get the ponds treated at 500, and I would like to be 2151 plus 600 install, 2651 plus 500, 3151.
2651.
Is it 50
Plus 500.
plus 500 times 2?
No,
Sorry.
we're gonna get one. We're gonna leave this alone. We're gonna leave this alone
Okay.
until it quits. I want to add a aerator to that pond. That's 2151.
Oh, 2151.
600 install, I'm sorry,
Okay,
2751.
I thought it was 27.
2751
Okay. Total.
for the aerator,
Okay.
and spend 500 to treat the two ponds.
Okay, you made the motion, I second.
Motion and second, 2751 for the aerator, 500 for the treatment. Motion, was there a second?
I'll say.
Motion and second, any discussion? Show of hands. Motion passes. I'll get in touch with them. All right, page 2. Unfinished business. Cindy, you want to take care of those second readings?
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the policy for the PP&E plant, property, and equipment, as written.
Second.
This is the second reading.
Second.
Motion to accept the PPE policy as written. Second, any discussion? Show of hands, signify. Aye. PPE passes. Yes. Next.
I make a motion that we accept the landscape policy, as written, second reading.
Second.
Motion made and second on the landscaping policy. Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Motion passes.
I make a motion under section 4, association government, section 4.02, approve the appointment of committees. The president may name the chairperson, that we change section I from grounds to landscape, section O to plant, property, and equipment, PP&E.
Second.
4.02, it's just wording, changing
wording,
grounds, the
yeah.
landscape, adding PPE. Motion made and second. Any discussion?
Four, we have an extra, is that a tilde, not tilde, a tick, a quote, right at the top says reorganization.
A reorganization board meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Supposed to have that extra quote in there?
No, I'll fix that. I'll fix
So,
that.
yeah.
Second motion, discussion, get rid of that, whatever that
Yeah,
is.
whatever.
All right, show of hands in favor. Motion carries.
Okay, and then we also have section 2, number 6, other purchases by board and committee. Section 6.01, we're going to substitute grounds for landscaping chairperson. We're going to delete the word and. Then we're going to add and plant, property and equipment, and PP&E. You'll see that typed in blue. I move that we accept that.
Second.
Motion made to accept 6.01 as rewritten.
It's written.
Any discussion? Again, it's just word changes because of the two committees now. Show of hands in favor. Motion carries.
And then we're doing the same reorganization meeting, section 2 of the procurement. We're doing the same thing. We're changing words. I move that we accept it as written. We're going to change grounds to landscape chairperson. We're going to delete the word and under compliance. Then we're going to add the words and plant, property and equipment, PP&E chairperson.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Again, it's a wording change on section 211.13. Any discussion? Show of hands in favor. Motion carries. Okay, new business. And I think Cindy will also read these. These were some first reading of some new policies coming up.
Yes, so let's start with roads,
Roads.
and safety. That is under section 11, excuse me, I can't even read tonight. Section 10, road and safety. So what we want to do, at the very top, you will see how it's written originally. We want to add, we want to change where it says motor vehicles. We want to insert there roads and add committee will observe and monitor the condition of the roadways throughout the neighborhood, including all street and safety signs, and will contact contractors as needed for larger repairs and repaving quotes and awarded work. Then from that point on, we will renumber all the subsequent policies.
And I think the ones you have, I got X happy, but it's section 10, 1.1 will be the addition of the roads.
Yes. And that's the first reading.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and second to accept first reading on the roads addition from Ralph. Any discussion? Show of hands. That motion carries.
So we were also asked to begin working on a policy for our board job directors' emails. And we put together a real, under section 2 of the policy manual, administrative board of directors email usage. Brian created or sent us an email, or sent us a suggested. Our compliance committee took that, we worked with that, we revised it. We have some other things you'll see on the back that I suggested we'll put elsewhere. Do you want me to read this? But my motion is that we accept this as a first reading as written.
Yeah, it's in the reading. I'll second.
Okay.
First reading, and again, for you in the audience at the time, I think I didn't have, it is section 2, 12 through 12.04, if you want to add that. Cindy sent me those, I think, after I sent this to Rob. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the administrative board of directors email usage? Show of hands in favor. Motion carries. Thanks, Cindy.
And we will send these to Sharon so she can post these on the website under first reading for draft.
Got a question? Yes.
Committee chair people on landscape, George Electronic, did we, this is a new invoice, we haven't approved this, I mean, we're gonna approve it. Did we approve this before, do you remember? Okay, all right. It was in the packet, so I didn't know whether we had to.
All right, next WPA board meeting is May 19th at 7 PM. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. No discussion. I know we'll go. All right, questions and comments from the audience? Steve?
When Blaine, when you read Blaine's report, his vice president report,
Yes.
I'm just interested to know from the board, does anyone have any problems with this report tonight? As far as the professionalism part of the board and that part of it? Is anybody willing to say that they have a problem with what he said?
Problem which way? For or against?
For or against, either way?
I think he was spot on. Personally, as somebody who's been constantly attacked and lied about constantly, I definitely believe that. And the lack of discretion from some board members that constantly, the meeting's over. Meeting's over. Yeah. But I mean, these folks they signed a confidentiality agreement and they're willfully violating it. And it's like he said, it shows poor character.
I mean, it just, I mentioned last year that the board was causing a lot of the turmoil in this community. The board was. And I'm not seeing where that's changing a great deal because it's still got this conflict that I know that Bob, you and others in the board are trying to turn this around, but you're fighting the board to turn it around. And that, it's just not the way this should work. I mean, I appreciate what all of you are doing, but if we're not gonna do any better than just keep butting heads, then why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? I mean, if you're going to be on this board, and I've talked to a couple other people and I said, well, maybe the ones that are doing other things that we don't agree with or that we do agree with, maybe they think that is what is actually right and what they think it should be done. I'm willing to give that the credit, but if anyone has a problem with what Blaine said in his report tonight, at least have the professionalism to say, yes, I agree with him, or no, I don't agree with him. So we know where everyone stands. And I mean, I'm not going to call you up and call you names or get on the Facebook and call you names and put clown faces on people and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think most of the people here are going to do that. But if we don't do something, this beautiful place we call home is going to go downhill fast. It just about went downhill totally last year. Because, I mean, even the community of Georgetown was saying, are you kidding me? Are you getting involved with that any, Steve? And I said, I'm trying to stay out of it, but I mean, it's kind of hard. So, I mean, we have got to do something, and I'm going to say it again this year. If it doesn't start with the board, it's not going to happen. Because we really don't, other than this question time we really don't have a say in the matter. I mean, we can tell you all what we want to tell you, but it's still, if you're not gonna act like a professional board, why are you doing it? So, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Can I?
I've considered doing a polygraph on the board to find out. Well, I think we all know who the group or one person is, but I mean, they have no shame. Is there any guilt? I mean, it gets back to what Steve says. If you're not going to hold yourself accountable, then why are you here? And some people can't even
Ask
stay
myself that
around
every
long
day.
enough to hear
I
the
ask myself
music.
that every day.
But we deserve better. We as a community deserve better.
Where do we stand on the program that y'all asked about the last time? I think it was the Google, where the new emails were gonna come out, where each department had that email. Where do we stand on that? Because
Google Workshop.
to me, I think that would be the number one, how to keep everybody accountable, whether it's you that are on the board now or the future ones. You know, I applaud Bob for going back and looking at everything that he's looked at and, trying to educate himself when he's trying to figure out just, with the apartment, the condos, how far back are we? Where's it been in the past and stuff like that? So where do we stand on that?
So we approved it pending a policy being approved, and we had first reading on that policy tonight.
Okay.
So once we have second reading, then me and Blaine will start moving things over.
Will that second reading come next month?
Yes.
Will that really
well-
do anything to stem the stupid leaking that is happening probably as we speak?
They'll be able to see if an email goes out from compliance or an email goes out from training.
But what's to stop them from screenshotting it and sending it? They know the tricks.
Don't do anything to that. I guess my thing is, I don't care who's doing it. If you want to be on this board and you want to be a professional and you want to actually make this community what it should be and what it was once, quit it.
Yeah.
That's as simple as you can get it. Quit it. I mean, just be a professional. Wow.
The only thing, when you ask quit it, of course, nobody ever does it. And we all know better than that. And for the most part, most of the people on this board are trying darn hard to make a difference. And most of these committees are trying darn hard to make a difference. And
Cancer starts small.
if we, I've been under attack as much as anybody lately in my 4 months, 5 months, whatever. My skin is as thick as my head and my head is thicker than whatnot. Yeah, it hurts. I'm not destined for this. I don't like that kind of, I don't like that, but you people voted me on and I'm putting up with it. And we're making progress.
Yeah.
We're making progress. A lot of things are going good and moving forward, contrary to what you're called or what's said about you. So, but, it's never, nobody's going to admit that they spread anything. Now, we have done some things differently and it's quieted, but I had to change more than other people had to change because I don't trust them.
What can be done if everyone said, we're going to do this together.
Agree. We hear that. We hear that a lot. We hear that a lot.
And I think the biggest thing is, as was said earlier, taking advice from the committees that you have, they're putting a lot of effort in to figure out why they might be trying to move from one person to the next person because they're the outside person looking in. And the only reason I was asking the question based on what was being brought up is if y'all have been charged for the company that's now doing the landscape to dump, and I own a tree service business. I know what it takes to bring a tree down because I've broke them down. If they're dumping back there, then they owe us money. Because we were paying them to dump at the dump site and not on that property that's there. So, that would be the number one reason, in my opinion, that, people were looking at, why are we giving free money to people that are not doing the job and asking how to do the job the next year?
But why hasn't anybody told them that they cannot dump it there? I mean, now you're saying,
We have. Start there. I've had multiple conversations with that gentleman throughout the years.
that was
We
never
should have
brought up
done
before in any of the.
And that's what I'm getting at. It's fresh eyes looking now and seeing and trying to make a change to the negative that's happened. So.
The bottom line is the board has got to respect the committees equally. And you can't single out one for more scrutiny, and
But-
that's what we see happen.
But you know what? I'm a firm believer in that because I know how much time I spent. I don't have any time to do any committee's job here. I don't have time to do Cindy's compliance or Jonathan is ARC or Brian is 5-year or Adam is drainage. I don't have the time. So I have to put my trust in those committees. And that's why I named the people I did to do their job. And they bring these reports. The board used to sit up there and do all these reports every month, every year. Now the committee does it. The board, we sit here and listen. And that's what we should be doing.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I only have one question. And we can look over all the contracts. We're not looking over a $70,000 program contract and we're worried about this.
They all.
No, I mean,
Amen.
all of them
Same.
should be looked over or you
Are
take their,
Yeah,
take their word for
the
it.
70 grand.
I would think the 70 grand would be bigger.
Yeah, it's just to replace, the cost of that is.
Just
is
saying,
product
didn't somebody
replacement.
look at a contract that?
There's-
Well,
what's
I
it
mean,
gonna be?
you're probably, I'm just saying, look at it or don't.
We did look at that contract. It was all right.
A bigger.
There wasn't. I didn't see one.
They take one out, put a new one in.
I understand.
You didn't see one?
Like, when you're with everything.
I didn't.
So, like,
I didn't see one.
From one is you're getting actually a piece of equipment, so it's a big, you're buying the stuff. The other is a service,
Service.
and there is usually a full contract, I do contracts.
Getting
all
something
the time.
versus a service.
And probably there should be some eyes on that, and there's probably one contract, and probably in that contract, Jennifer, it does say to haul the dump off, but the guy isn't reading his own contract. So there's a lot of things to it, but there's more into a service contract than when you buy a car. It's just like when you buy a road contract, it's not where you buy a car, you don't.
I know what Ralph's gonna
Putting this
say.
stuff
I have
in, I'm
that.
just saying, you know, look at them all or don't look at them. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me one way or the other, but spending 45 minutes talking about it is absurd.
I agree. Ralph.
So regarding the area that we own back by the water tower, and this contractor dumping grass clippings or bushes or whatever he's putting back there. Number one, it says contract to haul it to the dump. Number two, he's adding fuel to a possible fire. If we get a brush fire back there, and now we've got almost additional fuel laying on the ground, that is a hazard.
I don't think it's just him.
Not only is it a
I
fire.
don't think it's just him.
It's like we can fire it and go get something to do.
Well,
I think that's what.
that material has to be moved at some point, right? We cannot leave that material there.
Moved or
I've asked the
burned.
Landscaping committee to look at that.
Moved or burned.
Yeah, you're right.
We could have once we get 10 inches of rain.
Yeah.
I've rode back there on the bicycle looking and I know the people who own the last house own that area. That's all wooded. There's no burning that. And you work for the fire department. You're cutting trails to keep it from jumping. So, and if it's been jumping over the years, if you've ever lit up a Christmas tree, it's gonna go.
It's gonna go quick.
At least these work together.
Thank you, Steve. Anybody else? Hey, 20 minutes earlier.
Mention that we have a concert on May the 7th in the Georgetown Theater Orchestra.
20 minutes early.
I gotta go to supper. I'm out.
20 minutes earlier last week. Last one.
Big meeting.
All right, let me get my shit together here.
We had it. This is wrong.
So I have.
Yes, we had. We had.
I have not seen that one. Good night.
Good night. Go home. Relax. Have a drink.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank Peg.
Meeting adjourned, Rob.